When faced with tremendous stress, many personality types retreat into their shadow, leading to some really unhealthy behavior. As an INTJ, do you know what your shadow mode truly looks like? This happens for the most part for a short period of time, but those who have undergone substantial trauma or have been under a lot of stress may continue to be in their shadow mode for quite a while. Stress makes it difficult for any of us to function at our best, and in order to adapt, we frequently build walls and protective systems. It normally takes a lot of stress for an INTJ to go into shadow mode, but when they do, they act very differently than usual, which can be unsettling for those around them. There are no two INTJs who are exactly alike, but today I'm going to focus on some of the more in-depth and less discussed characteristics of being an INTJ. Today, I'm taking an inside look into an INTJ's shadow mode. Be sure to watch until the end of this video and leave a comment. I want to know the experiences you've had with your shadows. Let's get into it. Welcome to Success for Breakfast, where I'm serving up brain food made simple. Hit that subscribe button to get the latest videos created to give you the tools to level up your life. INTJs are usually self-assured and confident people who trust their intuition and are capable of completing objectives. They are hardworking, with minds capable of processing a wide range of ideas and information, but in their shadow mode, they struggle to maintain the same level of balance. They appear less self-assured and confident, continually seeking answers outside of themselves and from others around them. Each of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types has a function stack that structures their cognitive functions. Most type descriptions will focus on the 4 main functions found in a personality type stack. An INTJ's functions comprise of introverted intuition, extroverted thinking, introverted feeling, and extroverted sensing. Does this mean that INTJs never engage in extroverted intuition, introverted thinking, extroverted feeling, or introverted sensing? Absolutely not. These are an INTJ's shadow functions. Shadow functions can have both positive and negative effects, although they are less obvious than your stack's primary functions. We often regard them as outsiders who aren't a part of us. Our core functions, which we see as us, are what we accept into our ego. Because shadow functions are weaker than primary functions, we tend to project our weaknesses onto others without realizing it. INTJs thrive in the world of underlying meanings, relationships, and patterns. They care more about what happens behind the scenes than what's visible on the surface. The INTJ's dominant function is introverted intuition, which allows them to process information from their surroundings in a more subconscious manner. Because INTJs are naturally rational, it's easy to overlook the fact that their intuition is their primary function. Introverted intuition grasps concepts and foresees future consequences and possibilities. This helps the INTJ have a strong intuitive awareness of future patterns and determine the most efficient strategic approach. When an INTJ is in shadow mode, they focus on extroverted intuition. This usually motivates the INTJ to explore new patterns and possibilities, but they can be stressful. They begin to look for alternatives to the tried and true techniques and data they are already familiar with in the hopes of discovering something more useful. Instead of relying on their natural intuition, INTJs begin to broaden their horizons. Their unwillingness to trust themselves and their underlying intuitive abilities leads them to find alternative methods of determining the best course of action. INTJs can feel annoyed and hostile when confronted with new possibilities and hypotheticals. They may switch off their own introverted intuitive perspectives, as well as the opinions of others if they find them annoying or bothersome. This is frequently the result of someone challenging their intuitive ability, pushing them to look for other ways to prove their worth. An INTJ's second function, extroverted thinking, leads an INTJ to examine facts and reasoning. They acquire data and information in order to reach logical conclusions and effective future strategies. They prioritize factual accuracy and empirical knowledge. Extroverted thinking helps them break down enormous tasks into smaller pieces. They value time management and usually solve challenges by following a straight line of reasoning. The INTJ is naturally forward-thinking, yet in their shadow state, they may find themselves analyzing more than normal. They prefer to look at facts and apply logic to them, yet this method may lead to doubts about the information. This is because their introverted thinking is beginning to take over. Introverted thinking is the inner voice that criticizes or shuts down the INTJ's extroverted thinking-based goals. It could make them doubt a method they're putting in place by challenging them to dig deeper into the logical concepts that support it. They will scrutinize the specifics and look for ways to ensure that their solutions and information are accurate. They also become a little more skeptical of other individuals and their information, doubting their own ability to produce something genuine. If you've gotten some value from this video so far, please show your appreciation by hitting that like button. That signals to YouTube that you think other people could benefit from this video too. The third function of an INTJ is introverted feeling, which is largely concerned with weighing the worth and importance of things. It analyzes values and ethics in an attempt to understand what is genuine for an INTJ. They express introverted feelings in a lighthearted, almost childlike manner. INTJs aren't as in tune with their emotions as other types, but they do use them to understand what matters most to them. Due to their introverted feeling function, INTJs have strong moral convictions and ideals. They are extremely loyal to their own personal values and frequently distrust widely held social systems or standards. When an INTJ uses extroverted feeling instead of their natural introverted feeling, they become substantially more defensive of themselves and their actions. They may struggle to accept true responsibility, relying on external justification to support their point. They become more concerned with mutual understanding, which can cause the INTJ to doubt themselves. The typically confident INTJ has difficulties understanding their own knowledge and ideals, so they rely on group cohesion to decide what to do next. Extroverted feelings try to understand and connect with the demands of the group. It is the concern with the group's morale, values, and harmony. INTJs frequently dismiss extroverted feeling-related beliefs as silly or deceitful. They may regard it as people-pleasing, manipulative, or insincere. INTJs typically struggle with being aware of the interpersonal needs and emotional reactions of those around them. Concentrating on these difficulties is usually exhausting and a waste of time for an INTJ. They become more aware of the extroverted feeling influence in their lives as they mature and are less likely to suppress it. They will begin to pay more attention to the ideas and expectations of the group. Have you ever had any of these shadow experiences in your life? If so, which ones have you recognized in yourself? Leave a comment and tell me your stories and experiences. Now, every personality type has a problem with the fourth cognitive function, which is often known as the inferior function. We have accepted the inferior function as a part of ourselves, incorporating it into our ego, but it repeatedly fails us. It is the cause of much of our anxiety and the function from which we are most prone to hiding behind a persona. Extroverted sensing is the fourth function of INTJs. Extroverted sensing is preoccupied with feeling and acting in the present moment. It is aware of the current scenario's tangible facts and swiftly assesses the situation to determine what resources can be used and what possibilities are available. Because they aren't naturally in sync with the physical world around them, it can occasionally emerge in strange ways. It can prompt the INTJ to try to notice details around them, which can assist them in recognizing changes. INTJs aspire to shine at this function. However, they may experience nervousness, lose track of what's actually going on around them, or overlook important information that they'll need later. An INTJ prefers introverted sensing when in shadow mode. Introverted sensing wants comfort, stability, and consistency in the outside world. Introverted sensing users excel at replicating tried-and-true procedures and techniques, and they frequently compare what's happening now to what's happened in the past. They are also intensely aware of inner body sensations and live in a way that promotes physical comfort and consistency. As a result, the INTJ views previous methods and memories as negative, only noticing and trying to improve the negative elements. They can be tough on themselves and others when they are unable to appropriately digest information. They find it difficult to focus on the past lessons that have helped them grow, preferring instead to focus on the things that have badly influenced them and make it difficult to move on from those events. Remember that introverted sensing isn't always a bad thing. INTJs can occasionally have a universal awareness of the history of things and how it relates to their entire existence. They can also begin to include self-care and physical awareness into their daily routines, as well as become more conscious of their own needs. Because shadow functions can be both negative and positive, it's important to realize that they aren't necessarily evil. It's equally crucial to be aware of them when you're inclined to make assumptions about other people. In fact, being aware of your own shadow functions and using them to your benefit is actually an amazing strength unique to the INTJ personality type specifically. This video will show you exactly how you can leverage your INTJ shadow into an unstoppable advantage in life compared to others.